Imagine this. Your child runs into the living room with excitement, holding up their drawing, eager to show it to you. But today, instead of your usual joyful smile, there's a heaviness in your eyes. Something happened. Something your child doesn't fully understand. Yet, you lost your job. And now, you're faced with a difficult question. How do you explain this to them in a way that feels safe, supportive, and even hopeful? Before we dive deep into this sensitive topic, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can learn how to handle life's toughest conversations with your children. These are the moments that shape trust, resilience, and connection, and we're here to guide you through every step. Talking about job loss with children is not easy. It mixes emotions of shame, fear, and uncertainty with the responsibility of protecting your child's sense of safety. But here's the truth. Children are incredibly perceptive. They notice the change in tone when parents talk to each other, the stress in your face when bills come in, or the sudden absence of work routines. Trying to hide everything rarely works. Instead, children might imagine something far worse. That's why honest, age-appropriate communication is the key. The first step is preparation. Before sitting down with your child, take a moment to breathe. Recognize your own emotions. Frustration, sadness, even anger. These are natural, but you need to filter them before the conversation. Your goal is not to unload adult problems on your child, but to give them clarity and comfort. Think of it as providing a safety net in words. Children need to know, yes, something difficult happened, but they are still safe, loved, and cared for. When you begin the conversation, start simple. Avoid complex details about layoffs, economic downturns, or corporate restructuring. Instead, use language that matches your child's age. For younger kids, you could say, "Daddy's job ended, and that means he won't be going to the office for a while. But it's not your fault, and we will be okay." For older children, you can add a bit more context. Mom lost her job because the company needed to save money. It's tough, but we're going to figure out together. The key is to strike a balance. Enough honesty to build trust, but not so much detail that it creates unnecessary anxiety. Another important piece. Children often internalize adult struggles. They may believe that they did something wrong, or that the family is breaking apart because of them. This is where reassurance becomes crucial. Repeat in different ways that this situation is not their fault. Say it more than once. Children may need to hear it several times before it sinks in. It's also powerful to emphasize resilience and teamwork. You might say, "This is a challenge, but challenges are things families face together. We'll make some changes and we'll get through it." When children see you framing adversity as temporary and survivable, it helps them feel less afraid. They learn that setbacks don't mean the end of stability. They mean a shift, a moment to adapt. Of course, children are curious. Expect questions and prepare yourself to answer calmly, even if the questions are tough. Does this mean we won't have food? Are we going to lose our house? These questions can sting, but they show your child's natural instinct to understand safety. Instead of dismissing them with "don't worry about it," try to answer honestly but with reassurance. We always have food. We may need to be more careful about how we spend money, but you don't need to worry, we are still safe. This type of response validates their concerns without overwhelming them. Body language plays a huge role in this conversation. Sit close to your child. Make eye contact. Offer a gentle touch, like holding their hand or putting an arm around their shoulder. These small gestures reinforce the words you're saying, showing through your actions that love and safety remain constant. And finally, remember that this isn't a one-time talk. Children process big information in layers. You may explain it once, but then they'll come back days later with new questions or emotions. Be ready to revisit the conversation, patiently and consistently. That ongoing support is what builds resilience. Teaching your child that difficult news can be faced with courage, and that family love doesn't fade when circumstances change. Once you've introduced the idea that a parent has lost their job, the next step is helping your child emotionally process what it means in their world. For kids, the abstract concept of employment doesn't hold much meaning. They don't think about contracts, salaries, or company structures. What they care about is how this change will affect their daily lives. Will we still buy snacks? Will I still go to school? Will dad still pick me up? This is where you, as a parent, need to connect the abstract to the concrete. Translate the adult problem into something that fits their frame of reference. For example, when someone works, they earn money. That money helps pay for food, the house, and fun things we do. Right now, I don't have a job, which means we need to be extra careful with money. But we'll always make sure you have what you need. By explaining it in this way, you're teaching your child about the relationship between work and resources without frightening them. Children also benefit from seeing honesty paired with hope. If you only focus on the difficulty, they may feel unsafe. But if you present it as part of life's ups and downs, they begin to understand resilience. You could say, jobs can change just like seasons. Sometimes we work in one place, and then that changes, and we look for something new. It's not easy, but it also gives us a chance to grow and find something better. Now, here's where your parenting role becomes more than just explanation. It becomes modeling. Your child will pay closer attention to how you act than to what you say. If they see you withdrawn, angry, or hopeless, they may mirror those emotions. But if they see you adjusting, making plans, and continuing to show love, they will learn that challenges are survivable. At this point, many parents worry about whether to share financial details with children. The truth is, you don't need to. Kids don't need numbers. They need reassurance. Instead of saying, we lost half our income, you might explain, we'll spend less on extras for a while, but we'll always have important things. That keeps the message simple and reduces fear. Here's another important angle. Children may notice small sacrifices and changes. Maybe you cancel a family outing, or you stop buying certain treats. Instead of letting them interpret these changes negatively, address them openly. We're saving money right now because I'm looking for a new job. That means fewer toys or ice creams for a while. But remember, love and fun don't cost anything. We can still play games together, cook together, and enjoy time as a family. This not only explains the adjustments, but also teaches gratitude and creativity. Sometimes, job loss can create tension between parents. Children sense that quickly. They may overhear arguments or feel the emotional distance. If that happens, reassure them directly. Mom and dad are stressed right now because losing a job is hard, but it's not about you. We both love you and nothing changes that. That clarity prevents them from internalizing blame. Encouraging children to share their feelings is equally important. Give them space to ask questions or express worry. Some children might feel scared, but stay quiet to avoid adding stress to you. Let them know it's okay to talk. If you ever feel worried or confused, you can tell me. I want to know how you're feeling. This invitation opens a door for ongoing dialogue. On a practical level, this is also a teaching opportunity. Losing a job shows children that life can have setbacks, but it also shows them how to respond. You might say, I'm going to look for new work, and while I do, I'll also use this time to spend more moments with you. Maybe I'll walk you to school or help with your projects. This transforms a moment of loss into a chance for connection. Lastly, keep hope alive. Children thrive when they know that tomorrow can be better. You don't have to promise unrealistic outcomes, like getting a new job immediately, but you can highlight action. I'm sending applications, talking to people, and learning new skills. It might take time, but we're moving forward. That balance of honesty and hope creates trust. By turning job loss into a conversation that blends truth, reassurance, and resilience, you are not only protecting your child's emotional well-being, you're also teaching them one of life's greatest lessons. Challenges happen, but with love, teamwork, and patience, families always find a way forward. When talking to children about something as big as a parent losing their job, the conversation isn't only about what not to fear. It's also about what they can do. Kids love to feel included, and when they're given a small role, it helps them transform worry into a sense of purpose. This is where the concept of teamwork becomes powerful. For instance, you might say, since we're saving money, maybe we can all think of fun activities that don't cost much. Do you want to help plan a family game night? This doesn't just distract them from stress. It gives them a tool to participate in creating joy despite the challenge. Children who feel like contributors often cope better because they see themselves as part of the solution rather than helpless bystanders. It's also important to frame job loss as temporary. Adults know that careers are long journeys with ups and downs, but children live so much in the present that they might believe no job now means no job forever. To counter that, keep reinforcing the message. I don't have a job right now, but I'm already working on finding the next one. It may take some time, but this is something people go through, and it always changes. By presenting it this way, you help them understand that the situation has an end point. Children may also react differently depending on their age. Younger kids might only notice changes in routine. Dad is home more, mom is stressed, we go out less. They need reassurance and routine to feel safe. Older children, especially preteens and teenagers, might feel embarrassed or even resentful. They may worry about what their friends will think if they can't afford the same outings or clothes. This is where honesty is again crucial. A parent can say, I know it feels frustrating to not have everything you want right now, but this doesn't define who you are. What matters is how we treat each other and the strength we show as a family. One of the greatest lessons you can teach during this time is resilience through perspective. Stories can help. Share a moment from your own childhood or other times when challenges were overcome. For example, when I was your age, my parents also went through a hard time, but we stayed close and got through it. And we will too. Children often connect more to stories than abstract reassurances. At the same time, don't underestimate the power of routine. Keeping certain parts of family life stable, bedtime stories, weekend pancakes, or evening walks, shows your child that not everything changes when a job is lost. These constants become anchors of security. Even when finances tighten, love and tradition can provide a sense of stability that no paycheck controls. Sometimes, parents hesitate to talk about their own feelings in front of their kids, fearing it will burden them. But actually, showing a little vulnerability can be healthy. You might say, I feel sad today because losing my job was hard, but I also feel hopeful because I know things will improve. This teaches your child that emotions are natural and manageable. You're modeling how to acknowledge feelings without being consumed by them. Don't forget the importance of celebrating small wins along the way. Maybe you applied for several jobs, or you had a good interview. Sharing these moments with your child, without overwhelming them with adult details, can show progress. I talked to someone today about new work opportunities. That means I'm one step closer to finding a new job. These little updates reinforce hope and demonstrate persistence. It's also worth considering how your child might hear about the situation from others. Relatives, neighbors, or even classmates might mention it. To prepare them, you can equip your child with simple phrases. Yes, my dad is looking for a new job right now. This helps them feel confident and reduces embarrassment. Above all, remember that children thrive when they know they are loved unconditionally, regardless of circumstances. Job loss might reduce material comforts, but it can also deepen emotional bonds if handled with openness, care, and unity. By showing your child that family is about support and resilience, not just money, you are giving them a lesson far more valuable than any paycheck. So, while this chapter in your family's life may feel difficult, it also carries a hidden gift. The chance to teach your children how to navigate life's storms with courage, love, and hope. Now that we've covered how to break the news, reassure your children and involve them in the process. Let's talk about the long-term support. Job loss isn't a single conversation. It's a journey, and your children will keep reflecting on it in the weeks or even months that follow. That's why the way you handle it daily is just as important as that first talk. Children live in cycles of routine. When a big change happens, they may expect everything else to change as well. Your job as a parent is to protect the constants. Even if money is tighter, even if stress is heavier, the things that matter most, family meals, bedtime rituals, hugs in the morning, should remain. These little anchors send the unspoken message. Our family life is still here. Love doesn't stop because of challenges. Over time, you'll also notice how differently each child processes a situation. Some might ask the same questions over and over. Do you have a job yet? Others might grow quiet and try to manage their feelings alone. It's important not to dismiss either reaction. For the child who asks again and again, patience and repeated reassurance are key. For the child who withdraws, you might need to gently invite conversation. You've been quiet lately. Are you thinking about what we talked about? Respect their pace, but always leave the door open. Another layer is honesty about the journey ahead. It's tempting to shield kids completely, but transparency, filtered through their level of understanding, builds resilience. For example, I've had a few interviews, but I don't have the right job yet. It takes time, but I'm proud of how our family is working together while we wait. This teaches persistence and patience. Practical involvement can also be powerful. If your children are old enough, let them join in small ways. Maybe they help brainstorm cost-free activities, or maybe they pitch in by taking care of chores while you're on a call. You don't want them to feel burdened, but you do want them to see that family challenges are met with teamwork. This shifts the mindset from helplessness to collaboration. One of the hidden lessons here is about values. Children who grow up in times of material abundance may not fully understand the meaning of gratitude. But when a family experiences scarcity, even temporarily, it opens a chance to focus on what truly matters. You can frame it like this: we may not buy as many things right now, but we still have our home, our health, and each other. That's worth more than anything money can buy. When children hear this, they begin to see value not in possessions, but in relationships and resilience. Still, let's acknowledge something important. Parents, too, are human. You will have days when the weight feels crushing, when fear of the future overwhelms you. On those days, don't pretend everything is perfect. Instead, strike a balance between vulnerability and strength. You might say, "Today I'm feeling a little down, but that's normal. Tomorrow will be a better day, and we'll keep moving forward together." That message shows your children that it's okay to have feelings, and that feelings don't stop us from moving forward. Also, don't forget to create moments of hope. Share small victories. I sent out applications today. Someone called me about a new opportunity. These aren't just updates. They're signals to your child that life is moving forward. They transform waiting into progress, keeping optimism alive. Eventually, when a new job comes along, the way you present it matters just as much as how you explain the loss. Celebrate it as a family victory. I found a new job, and I'm so grateful for how strong we were together during this time. This shows your child that challenges can end, and that perseverance pays off. Finally, remember this: job loss is not only a financial event, it's an emotional story your family will carry. And the way you narrate it, through honesty, love, and reassurance, can turn what feels like a painful memory into a powerful lesson. Your children will look back and remember not just that their parent lost a job, but that their family grew closer, stronger, and more united. So, when a difficult day comes to explain job loss to your children, know this: you're not just talking about work. You're teaching resilience. You're teaching values. And above all, you're showing them that even in the hardest times, love remains unshaken.